Hi, hello. It's Lucky once again, and I am printing. So I am interested to give a short talk about. Hi, this is Lucky once again, and I am just interested to talk about bullying, especially in the workplace, because there is an incident of bullying reported in my school, and it is currently investigated. And it made me motivated because I want to share, okay, bullying uh, in the workplace here in the Philippines and in abroad. So while I am printing modules for my special program in sports classes, which I am at, which I am, by the way, is the consultant. So yes, and so let us talk about bullying and why this is happening and why bullying must be addressed, be it in school, in the workplace, in our home, and different social organizations and gatherings. Because actually, bullying, though it's very common, is proven to affect the the personal the affect the how people act, act and value themselves. So it is really important that we should we should be aware and we should be vigilant, especially if we have kids who are studying or we have family members who are really vulnerable to different forms of bullying, discrimination, and other forms of psychological that may result to psychological issues uh, in the person. So sometimes I cannot understand why there are people put who would step or who would push people to psychological impairment or psychological disturbances, and why there are people whom we can say like evil, be it small evil or medium evil. What I'm referring to is why is it that there are bad people. And I want to share to you my personal experiences about bullying in the workplace and how to address this issue. Okay, so I will be giving you 9 tips for handling a workplace bully in person and virtually. Okay, so have you experienced being bullied in your social media interaction with other people? Okay, you felt bad, you felt humiliated, you felt less worthy as a person or as a member of the organization. So it is very common. And in fact, bullying is one of the major causes of suicide, not just in the Philippines, but in other parts of the world. Okay? So listen, try to take notes, and try to assess yourself if you are a victim of bullying or you are a bully in person, and especially in the workplace and virtually. Okay. So I would start by saying don't let your workplace bully win. Okay? So never allow that bully in the workplace win and control your working time in your office or in your company. So I will be sharing to you tips on how to handle bullying at work. So bullying has become far too common in the workplace, taking the form of nonverbal or actions, verbal verbal abuse, different forms of verbal abuse, psychological, and physical abuse. So these are the common forms of bullying: non-verbal, verbal, psychological, and physical abuse. According to the Workplace Bullying Institute, that is in the US, 19% of adults are bullied at work, while 60.3 million workers are affected by workplace bullying. So if this is this statistics is US based, but this is really you know an eye opener because the US champions equal rights, human rights, yet bullying is prevalent in their workplace. So how much more here in the Philippines? We're in we have a culture of, you know, zipping our mouth. We have a culture of resiliency, of high tolerance. We are not so open because we don't want to make other people bad with what we will say. Okay, we would like to protect other people and sometimes, and not sometimes, but in many cases sacrifice our own feelings and psychological stability just not to hurt other people. And for me that is unfair. So in one survey that I happened to read, the respondents, more than 1,000 respondents said that, yeah, of the more than 1,000 respondents, only 4% said that they have never felt bullied in the workplace. That means that there is a staggering 96% of the respondents who felt bullied at work. Diba? And that is shocking. No, 96% of workers in one workplace feel that they are bullied at work. And if you think bullying only comes from those in a position of power, like in the managerial position, you are wrong. In that same survey, 25% of the respondents said that they have felt bullied by a peer or coworker, or people or coworkers sharing the same rank or positions. So let's try to look at the workplace bullying in a virtual world. Yes, of course, we're living in a new normal. And this new normal means an increase in remote work and a blend of in office and remote workers for many companies, not just here in the Philippines, but abroad as well, in other parts of the Philippines. So there is this work from home uh, work from home status or arrangement. While some individuals enjoy working from home, others might prefer the structure of being in an office more. In either case, workplace bullying increases work stress and takes the enjoyment out of work no matter what or where we are located. Okay? So if I experience bullying in the workplace, so I would prefer working in my home. And this is now the scenario. Okay? There is a transition. If there is a change, a shift from working in the office, reporting live in the office, there is a transition into working from home. And bullying follows. In other words, it offers new challenges for employees and even for employers to witness and monitor how people work. So, enabling online or virtual bullying to happen because it is difficult for bosses to check their middle managers how to deal with their workers. Okay, it's easier to bully people when they don't have to see them face to face, right? Okay, so it's happening now in my school. And what made it sad is it was divulged in the social media, and people are reacting and even tagging me with the various posts from my friends and acquaintances, and it saddened me as to why it exploded that way because um, we are not actually protecting the interest of the victim. Yes, because the name of the victim was divulged and it dragged out and involved many people. So, excuse me. So, in a sensationalized bullying, the victim would be more victimized because people would have different perceptions as to what happened. So, also, especially if it involves a minor, so it is really necessary that we will protect the interests of both the victim and the perpetrator of bullying because we have to investigate really what happened. And but the focus of my talk today is not about child bullying or adolescents bullying, but bullying in the workplace, um, especially now in the virtual world. So again, it's easier to bully people when they don't have to see them face to face. They hide behind instant messenger chats and text messages. Since many remote workers have a challenging time logging off from work at the end of the workday, they don't have a chance to step away from bullying to get a fresh perspective on how to handle it if they are the target. Further, the more relaxed home office environment can open doors to an unprofessional attitude and rude comments from workers. One career expert said that you might assume that workplace bullying will be less of an issue when everyone is working from home. But unfortunately, this isn't the case. In fact, many may find it easier to bully a coworker when they can hide behind a computer keyboard. And this is a sad reality. In addition, the more casual home office often leads professional to be less buttoned up than they would be in their organization's physical office and more likely to drop their guard about what they say and do via email, messaging, and video conference platforms. So these are the new platforms of bullying. Okay, email, messaging, and video conference platforms. It is it to bully or to deliver or to write or to send hurting comments because we are not facing our coworkers face to face. So example of remote or home office bullying include messages containing sexist or discriminatory remarks like, you know, you're getting fat or you're you're it might be good for some, but it might be discriminatory for others, like you're so thin. Okay, things like that because we don't really say equally consider words or adjectives that describes our physical side, be it good or bad. Then embarrassing social media posts, okay, especially when you are tagged by people without your approval or without seeking your permission, as if you are not doing something for that issue. Then threatening messages or emails. Like I experienced it. I received a comment which is somewhat threatening and I felt bad. The next is demeaning, belittling, or talking over someone during meetings or video calls. Okay, so this is very common: demeaning, belittling, or talking over someone during meetings or video calls. Uh, Especially when waiting for the person to join the conference. So while waiting, you talk about the flaws of the person or the weaknesses of the person. And then micromanaging every detail of work an employee does, like reporting what you did, how you did, something like that, as if you are not worthy of your boss or coworkers' trust. And then spreading gossip or rumors about coworkers. Okay, be it office related, job related, or personal issues. It is not good to talk about other people. especially using the different forms, different social media platforms. Okay. And then taking credit for someone else's work. Okay. Plagiarism, withholding necessary resources for someone to get your job done. Okay. So that they would have an easier time or easier to facilitate a better, conduct of their job. So they would withhold necessary resources for you. And then yelling at an employee in front of other employees, gaslighting and making an employee second guess themselves, like blind item during meetings. Okay, this is very common, blind item. Not directly mentioning the name of the person, but giving hints that would lead people to, to point out that person to be the subject of the blind item being given by your boss. So bullying can lead to health concerns, right? Undue stress and low productivity at work. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. With that said, it is important to take appropriate steps to handle bullying at work to support your well-being. So I would be giving you suggestions to consider if you find yourself being bullied or even witnessing bullying at your workplace. So how to handle bullying at work? Okay, number one, you have to research your group company's policy. So every company has an established policy with regards to bullying, with regards to how to conduct yourself. Okay, because that is mandated by DOLE, that is mandated by law. So there is no exemption. So every company must have a policy about bullying. So if so, first is you have to research your company's policy, and if you're being bullied at work or know of someone who is, then research your company's policy to determine the proper protocols to report such activity. Many organizations actually have a no tolerance policy for such behavior. Sometimes we're afraid to talk or to report that we are bullied or you witness bullying other your coworker being bullied by a coworker, by a boss, or by a client. But in reality, we are protected. Not we could be, but we are protected by that company policy. So we should know by heart the policy of our company with regards to bullying. Okay. So reporting does not only involve you or you are the subject of bullying, but witnessing bullying to happen in the workplace is also your responsibility. So if your organization doesn't have a policy or the current policy needs updating to reflect remote work setup, then speak to your human resources manager or speak to your principal or to your head teacher or speak to higher authorities that there is a need to update the policy because of how companies are doing the work from home working arrangement. Okay, so the policy must be updated because there is a sudden shift from face to face or physical appearance in the workplace to a remote work arrangement. And then number two, take a beat. If you feel you're being bullied at work, take a breather to size up the situation from a calm and a grounded perspective. You can determine the best way to deal with the situation. Okay, so do not automatically react like being hot or being harsh or being violent because you're also exhibiting the bullying behavior and the bullying mindset as well. Okay, so you have to be calm, you have to be grounded. Take a deep breath. So keep in mind that people make mistakes. Okay, perhaps that person is stressed, the person is having a problem. So take a moment to size up or the situation and determine if bullying was simply a one-time incident or something that will involve into a abuse or something that you witness to be irregular behavior. Okay? Because perhaps the person was just very stressed and you were yelled. Okay, but it was just once, no, in the many months that you are together. Okay, so that's why you should assess the situation. In other words, do not automatically report the matter because you can you can do research and you can personally approach the person of how you feel. And then third is take care of your well-being. Understandably, many individuals, or in my case, many teachers are afraid to speak up when they are being bullied. That's true. They might be concerned about what others will think about themselves. And if the bully is your boss or someone in position of power, then one's livelihood is at stake. And that is a reality that is happening. We're afraid na baka daw balikan tayo. Okay? However, bullying can have a negative impact on your well-being, both mentally and physically. You would result to either being anxious or worse, being depressed. Take care of yourself by pooling resources together to support you. A mental health professional or a counselor is an excellent place to start to help you deal with the stress of bullying and come up with solutions on how to handle it. And if your company or your organization does not have this mental health professional or a counselor, then talk to someone who is more or less who is experienced or expert with regards to how to deal with your emotional baggages. So you can talk with your preferred person, be it your parents, brother or sister, neighbor, or a religious person, or if you can hire the services of a counselor or a therapist, okay, a psychologist, then you may. Okay, so you have to take care of your well-being. So you have, in this case, you have to exercise. You have to prepare yourself from various circumstances that you may be exposed to bullying. So that in other words, you have to invest on your well-being. Okay. So because if you are not exposed to various circumstances, it is easy for you to be a victim of bullying. But if you are well exposed to people and to different situations, then it might be a different case. Okay, number four. Talk to your higher ups or human resources. If you are not comfortable speaking individually who is bullying you directly, you might need to discuss it with your manager or human resources. Choose the course of action that feels best for you for your situation. Okay, speak up. So get away from a culture of silence, which actually promotes deeper wound in yourself. So we Filipinos, we have this culture of silence. We are known to be resilient. No? Tinitiis natin yung mga problema natin. And I'm not stating that being resilient is wrong. What I am saying is that, you know, you need to express yourself. You need to speak up. And then talking with your manager or human resources officer or higher up may lead to a direction of getting into an action that feels best for you for that situation. So when you're addressing your concerns, focus on the negative impact on productivity, well-being, and morale while staying professional and calm. So do not really attack the person personally, but focus on the issue and how this issue affect your day-to-day interaction, how it affects your productivity as a worker, your sanity, and then talk about how it affects your sleep, your dealing with other people because you're experiencing depression because of that bully, the presence of of that bully in. Hi, hello, Prawel. Actually, I have a visitor, Doctor Fe, my good friend. Hi, friend. I have a visitor. Um, my former colleague in Holland University. We've been no, we worked together for 10 years. Yes, and I am talking about Holy Name University, the Doctor Fe. So, doctor in research. Yes. Uh, Dili ni live? Yes. Recorded. Yes, Ma'am Fe. That is all about how our school implemented the senior high school curriculum. That is a research commissioned by Chad. Oh, so that is a Chad commission research. So in you're doing it by yourself? You're doing it by yourself? Ah, so group research and siya, ma'am. You don't have a plan of uh na venturing? Ah, that's normal. That is a good decision. Pero wala pa na process. Ah. Open open pe. Oh, it's okay nga mo. Kuan ka. Apply na ka. Yes. So kanang mo answer ko one by one or mo check ra ka? Sige. Diyan ako guide. Mm, consent. Hi. Ate, visitor. Your husband, Mampe, is still with Ichinyo. Ah, sa senior high. Ikaw kay senior, junior, pa naman ka na? Pa naman kuno karon kanang ay professor naman ka sa grade school. Kani mo perma pa kani. Ay samot ka mahot akong indot magkagagi. Yeah.